Clemens, Chairwoman. Mr. Reg Mantooth, Vice Chairman, is absent. Mr. Frank Cook to my right. Mr. Buddy Hardwick to my left. Mr. Cruz Reeves to my left. Mr. Reginald Hawkins is absent. Mr. Reggie Dunn to my right. Mr. James Reed to my right. And Ms. Leslie Stone, who is absent. The members of the land use staff are Mr. James Center and Ms. Jovan Hines. Members and petitioners are requested to please speak directly into the microphone. The minutes are recorded for legal purposes, and this is the only way to accurately pick up the audio. As I said tonight, we only have 6 members present. It takes 5 votes to pass a motion, and because of the members of board members present, if you would like to delay your request, please let us know when your request is announced. Mr. Center, are there any changes to the agenda?
Yes, ma'am. Item 3 has been pulled. It's Goodman Mills and Kaywood. It was a plat on Edna Brake Lucas. It's been pulled completely. Number 7 is the rezoning presented by Gonzalez Strength and Associates for North Holt Street, and it's been delayed.
That's item number 3 and 7.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. May we have a motion to, if you've reviewed the minutes from last meeting, is there a motion to accept the minutes?
Make motion to accept minutes as. Second.
Moved and properly second that the minutes have been approved. Thank you so much. All those in favor? No opposition. The motion passes. Okay. Any items on the agenda that the members of the commission need to recuse themselves? All right. Would you call for the next first item, Mr. Center?
My pages just didn't get out. I apologize. The first item is a rezoning presented by Doug Isaacson, representing Isaacson Family Enterprises, LLC. It's a request to rezone the east portion of a parcel located on the northeast corner of Ray Thornton Road and Wisdom Wood Road, containing 3.85 acres from O1 to B2Q.
Good evening. My name is Eric Isaacson. Chairwoman Clemens, thank you for recognizing us. Good evening, Planning Commission. Thank you for this opportunity to speak, and I would like to further thank Commissioner Reed and Councilman Pruitt for their assistance with our petition. My name is Eric Isaacson. I'm here at the request of my father to assist during this discussion. He's a Vietnam combat pilot that flew for 20 years in the Air Force. He was having difficulty hearing the previous conversation during the previous meetings. Thank you to the Commission for allowing us on the agenda regarding the rezoning and the rear portion of 297 Ray Thornton Road to B2Q with additional restrictions. During the last Planning Commission, we had several takeaway items that Commissioner Reed requested on behalf of himself and Councilman Pruitt. We continued our outreach to the 6 surrounding communities, Dew Park, Breckenridge, Thornton Trace, Deer Creek, Wisdomwood, and Melrose. To further the impact of our outreach program, we coordinated a meeting with Councilman Pruitt at Grace Point Church on December 6th. Councilman Pruitt personally invited the HOAs from a 3-mile radius, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank Councilman Pruitt for coordinating this effort and inviting communities he thought needed to be in attendance. During this meeting, we discussed the layout of the facility, vegetation and landscape barrier, operating hours, coordination with neighbors regarding tree removal, our gift of wooden privacy fencing to the 7 neighbors that do not currently have rear fencing that are next to our place at the cost of $8,000, restriction of building height to 1-story design, and the councilman's request that we do not operate a truck rental agency on the premises. After this meeting, we finalized our negotiations with Melrose via email that began on November 1st. The discussion with Melrose involved coordination of expectations and agreement regarding vegetation and landscape, berm barrier, tree removal, hours of operations, and construction of gifted privacy fences. We agreed to all their requests and look forward to continuing the partnership with the community. Wells Robinson further communicated with Councilman Pruitt to confirm this list of restrictions that he wanted to see enacted on the property. Wells then contacted Tanya Ingram yesterday to confirm and memorialize these additional restrictions placed on the property. Thank you for your consideration regarding this project, and we look forward to continuing our relationship with the Montgomery community. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the commission?
I have a question. you're going to have RVs in there. How, the tallest, what is the tallest RV about the height?
The height of the building or the height of
No,
the RVs?
RVs, generally speaking.
Generally speaking, they can't be higher than 13 feet 9 inches, I believe, for DOT regulations. What you would have to do with the building is it'd have to be just a little bit higher, so that way you could include the door, and also so that way you can pitch the roof as well too, so that way you can shed the water and everything. So, traditionally they are right around 18 feet in height and everything. So,
Okay. Okay.
Any other comments, questions? Any comments, questions from the audience? Yes, sir. Would you please come to the mic and state your name and your address and your question or comment?
Good evening. My name is Yashwant Gowda. I am from Melrose. My home address is 8546 Melbourne Way. If you look at the map, I live in the right corner of the edge where if you see the Melbourne Way, and then if you see that corner, that is my home before the cul-de-sac. So this is something very personal to me, and we have been working with Doug and team, and it's been really great experience. They have been really helpful for us to get the things moving. So Melrose HOA has been working with Doug. We came up with an amicable agreement between Melrose and Doug. If you would like, I would like to go over those and list it just for the record.
All right.
And these are the agreements we made between the Melrose and the storage unit. The storage facility owner will plant the green giant minimum 5 foot of height on the center down the common border on the top of the berm. The storage facility owner will remove the old twisted height horse fence and vegetation that is on the Melrose property, and within 1 foot of the storage facility property or property line or on the storage facility side of the property. All the 14 Melrose homeowners, if you look at there are, you don't see the lot numbers, but we got lot 48, 47, 46, 45, 44, 43, 42, 41, 39, 38, 35, 34, 33, 32, agreed to remove the trees that are on their property backing towards the storage facility at the cost of the storage facility owner. We really thank you, Doug and association, to do it for us. And also during the tree removal process or the construction process until the completion of the storage facility construction, if there is any damage to the Melrose homeowner's existing or newly installed fence or to the homeowner's property, the storage facility owner will cover the cost of the fixing the damage of the fence or the property damage due to the construction. And among 14 homeowners who are directly backing to the storage facility, the 7 owners, the lot number 43, 42, 41, 39, 38, 35, 34, they don't have a fence, and Doug and association help us to put the fence, and all the homeowners agreed to put the fence on our property, and we will be responsible for maintenance of those fence moving forward. And also we agreed for the fence must be installed by storage facility owner immediately upon finishing the removal of the old fence, vegetation and trees, so that we have a privacy during the construction. The 7 homeowners agreed to maintain the fence installed by the storage owner, as I said. The storage facility homeowner will build the building in the fortress style. They have an updated proposal. I'm not really sure you have seen one. I would highly encourage you all to get familiar with. And they would put a chain link fence between any storage unit break, so that way they will have their privacy and we will have our privacy. The storage owner will keep water from sheeting across the storage facility property and into the Melrose Melrose property. So this is what we come to an amicable agreement between them and us. And I really thank everybody who involved from the board. They did a really great job coming to us, listening to our concerns and addressing those each item one by one. As I said that, but still we would want to make sure that if Doug family decide to sell the property, and whoever comes next, they should not take an advantage of the existing restrictions. So we would myself and the Melrose HOA board would like to request you all to add additional restriction which they are okay with. I would like to go over those. The first one is we do not want any U-Haul type rentals. The second one is limited time of operation between 6 and 10. No outside storage at all at any time. For example, RVs, boats, and etc. The 3-foot berm and 10-feet trees with at least 3 sites of trees and landscape must be maintained towards the residential homes all the time. Limit the building to 1 story and maximum height of like 16 to 18, not more than that. That's our humble request to you all. And also I would like to read out some of the comments from my board, which are the storage unit owner has been super kind and have worked with neighborhood in every way possible, agreed to install double the number of trees and install the fence for several of the neighbors. They have walked us through the process. Most investors and developers care less about what we think, but they are exceptional. They did really great, and I thank you for that. But I highly request you all, please add the request, please add this zoning restrictions which I read right now to the, before you approving the zoning. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Go ahead. Go right ahead. No, you
I
go.
got a question. I'm sorry, I can't understand a whole lot of what was said. Let me just ask this question. Are you for it or against it?
Sorry?
Are you for it or against it?
I am for.
Okay, that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to know. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We are all, the Melrose is for.
Well, I don't know all the stuff you read, and I'm not here. This is what we've got, which was those 4 or 5 items that were added to. That's what I'm voting on if I vote for or against. So that's all. I just wanted to hear you say that you're for it. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Among those, I have only one change.
If it's not in writing out here to us,
Let me ask you this. Let me clarify one thing with the Isaacson. Mr. Isaacson,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
the 1 story and 25 feet, that's about 2 stories.
No, the reason why we have to build it at that height, because the size of the building, we have to be able to shed the water off and everything. The pitch of the building requires it to be of a certain height. And also, with storage facilities, the previous designs or designs in the past, they never really built up like a little bit of a facade on top and everything. The reason why we take that approach is so that way it doesn't look squatty. We want to make this a very aesthetically pleasing building in the area. We don't want it to look like a box or anything. We want to make it look absolutely beautiful. And that's part of the reason why, when we built our previous facilities and everything, we had one facility that was, because in the back area, it has to be at least 13 feet 9 inches. And the reason why for that height as well too is due to the requirement of sprinkler systems and everything. We have to have them high enough to be able to not be damaged, not cause issues as well too. And that's the reason why is if you look at a lot of storage facilities built, especially the newer ones, the issue is that a lot of facilities that have been built in the past have been built on the 90s model, where it's just a metal box. They have a small little house in front, and that's the issue and everything like that. So that's why we need to have it so that way it can pitch the water, be able to flow it off and everything. Otherwise, we could encounter issues.
Well, if you look at the map, he lives on Melrose, and I think,
Oh,
that-
sir, I'm so sorry to interrupt. Are you talking about the front building or the buildings on the side of the neighborhood and everything? I'm just to get clarification regarding that.
well, I'm asking, I was originally asking, is the whole thing gonna be 25 feet?
No, sir. No, sir.
What part is gonna be 25 feet?
The very front area is right along Ray Thorrington Road. That's facing right across from where that pond is, kind of. That's where it'll be 25 feet at the very highest, and then it will slope down to 13 feet 9 inches. And the reason for that is due to the watershed
About
issues.
what part of the building? Is about halfway the building, it slopes down, or about a third of the building it slopes down, about what?
The facade on the front and everything once we get this designed and everything, the engineers are going to have the pitch and everything so that way it can flow the water correctly off of it.
So the front of the building will be 25 feet, and then it will be sloped down.
Yes, sir.
To what?
About 13 feet 9 inches.
Do you understand what he's saying? Is that okay with you? Since you live in Melrose and you know you don't want anybody looking in your house.
Can I?
Yes.
I do understand what they are saying, but if they leave, if somebody else come, if they decide to put 25 foot in the back, we don't have any control over what they can do.
He can restrict it. He can restrict it to 25 feet on the front and then slope it all the way back.
As long as the side and the back buildings
Right.
are not taller than 16 foot,
Right.
we are fine.
18.
Yeah, sorry, 18. Yeah, 18 feet.
You
That
got
should
that?
be.
Did you get that, Mr. Isaac? Microphone. Come up to the microphone.
Yes, sir. Are you talking about the buildings that are, oh, sorry about that. Are you talking about the buildings that are along the neighborhood, or are you talking about the building in the front area? We put on the list restrictions as well too for the height of the non-climate controlled as well as the RV buildings and everything, so that way we could address those issues and everything. The height of the very front facade would at the highest be 25 feet and everything, and then it would shed down to that 13.9 and everything just to be able to create that pitch. Because what we're doing is we're not creating a bi-level one, or where it slopes on both sides, where if we did that, then it'd be a different story. But with the design of this design of storage facilities and their nature, we can't accomplish that, unfortunately. It would have to be a little bit higher in the front area and be able to slope down. But along the sides, for the non-climate controlled, I believe we put on there as well too. Is it stated on there or no?
It just says 25 feet, a maximum of 25 feet. It didn't say what portion is going to be.
Okay, well, I apologize for that. So the highest it's going to be in the front area is 25 feet. The rest of the facility in the back area, with the RV buildings, those at the tallest are going to be 18 feet at the very tallest. That's to be able to accomplish that pitch, to be able to have the doors, to be able to meet DOT regulations. For the non-climate controlled, traditionally that would, at the very highest, I think it'd be maybe 14 feet and everything, just to be able to create that pitch and everything. But with a lot of those, they're not going to be as tall or anything. That's going to be a lot shorter. It's just for the very front facade that would have that height, and that's just to be able, and that's just due to it. If we're building a 50,000 square foot building, it's got to be able to flow off and everything. Versus if you're building a 30-foot depth building, that pitch can be a lot smoother and everything. So,
Are you good with that?
Yes, yeah, as long as they put 18-foot backside
Yeah.
to the neighborhood.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah.
All right.
Good.
Come
Thank
up
you.
to the mic. Come up to the mic.
Wells Robinson, Chairwoman. Just one more helpful clarification. Even on the 18-foot for the RV building, that height will be on the inside of the property. It'll be actually a lower height on the perimeter side of the property, because you basically have to build up on the front and then it slopes back to the back. So it'll actually be, 14, 15 feet on the side facing the neighbors, just to clarify that point. So we won't be putting an 18-foot wall right behind their house.
Okay. You good?
Yes, sir, we are good. And I would like to thank everybody to giving the opportunity. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, any other comments, questions from the audience
Ms.
or the
Clements,
commission?
Ms. Clements, staff has two.
I'm sorry?
Staff has two questions.
All right,
Is this facility manned like with living quarters?
No, no, it will not. No one will
Okay.
be living on site.
Okay, and the hours of operations were indicated to be 6 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Yes, sir.
Does that mean that people do not have access after 10 p.m.?
No, sir, they won't have access after.
There's not a keypad, nothing like
There'll
that?
be a keypad, but we'll have access control systems on it, so you can lock them out and everything. So what we traditionally do in storage is that we have a key code, and if somebody is coming too early, it'll lock them out. If they're coming up too late, it'll lock them out. But during those the access hours, it's going to be from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. We're also going to have employees manning the office as well, too. That's an issue that's happened in self-storage recently, where they're unmanned. And that's another thing that we want to do is we want to be able to, we're going to have people on site as well too, working during business hours,
Thank you.
but they won't live there.
Is everything that he said, the person from Melrose Place, you've agreed to that, right? Y'all are in agreement.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You're in agreement. And what you've given the city, that you met with them yesterday on, or whenever you met with them a few days ago, the city is in agreement with all of that. Yeah, what you got is what they've said, right?
Yes.
Okay, so everybody's in agreement at this point as to what's being done. Okay.
Yes,
all
sir.
right. We need more clients like you, thank you. Is there a motion?
I move to approve with the restrictions mentioned today and the restrictions that we have. Yeah, so I move to approve.
Well, I got a question on that,
Yes.
because I don't know what, other than, if it's not on this list that we just got,
Yes.
I don't know what I'm voting on.
All right,
Those
So-
restrictions,
So
those,
if it isn't in black and white, where we can see what we're talking, or black and red in this case.
she doesn't,
You know,
Mr. Hardwick is saying he does not have a copy.
I have no idea what the
That-
man said. I have no idea. So,
That list is, the takeaway from the meeting that we had on Monday, I believe, Councilman Pruitt said that he was working with Commissioner Reed to create that list as well, too. And that's why we reached out to Councilman Pruitt to confirm everything that was stated at that.
I
And-
think that what his point is, though, sir, is that what the gentleman was reading from is more specific and detailed.
and I don't want to hear it again.
No, yeah, he doesn't want to hear it again, but what we have on this paper is not as detailed as what he read and presented. So what we will be voting on would be on this document and not in addition to that document.
James, is that
That's
your-
what,
your understanding?
Mr. Hardwick, that's what we were given. Now, it would be within the planning commission's right that they supply us with something that's got everything listed that they agree upon, and a HOA representative signs it, and Isaacson sign it, and we can make it part of, we can.
I
we can-
understand that, but we're here to vote on something.
I understand
and
that too,
the
sir.
vote- And the vote that we've got,
That's all you can.
my vote, if y'all are telling me that it's more, the gentleman that spoke, I mean, he was rattling off so much stuff. I was still thinking about football from last weekend. So, I have no earthly idea what all he was talking about.
He doesn't know what
And I
was-
don't care whether they both agree. I still don't know what I'm voting on.
Right.
If you
Yes.
you were concerned about the 25 feet, you seem to be, everybody agreed.
Yeah.
If it's different than this, just say it's different from this, and I'll vote no. If it is what's here, then I will vote yes. Yes, ma'am.
It's what's on the paper. He was advising you of the agreements that they came to at the meeting. So the whole fence, that's not part of zoning.
All right, well,
So
that
what's on the
meeting
paper is what's
I
being
think
agreed on.
this was, as you said, this was one of the best performed between developers and neighborhoods, I think, that we've seen in a long time, okay? And I commend everybody on that. But on the same token, don't come in here and pull something at the end that I don't have a clue what you're asking for, and everybody's up here shaking their head, yeah. As far as I'm concerned, this is what I'm voting on.
Let me ask this question it's from this gentleman here. Do you know this document here? Have you seen this document? You've seen this document. You're okay with this document, the red line document. All right. But he said he's okay with this document.
I think she's going to
Can I-
clarify, Madam
Okay,
Chairman.
so
I'm sorry. You need your name and you
my
need
name is Brittany Moon. I'm on the board at Melrose. Everything that he mentioned was basically the agreement between the residents and the developer to get to the point where we could agree on the things that you have before you. So,
this document.
but we didn't. Of course, the fence agreement and all those things aren't in there, but it's what we discussed with
All right.
the
So the only thing
developer.
that we're voting on is this document.
Correct.
All right. Is that okay with you, Mr. Hardwick?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
All right.
I don't want
I got
something
you.
to come up later on and
Right.
somebody say, well, let me tell you,
Yeah.
you know, that wasn't what we read.
Totally
And
understand that.
And nobody understood.
Gotcha.
We're together, James? Is that?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right. There's a motion
So
on.
we're voting on this piece of paper.
That's correct.
Yes, all
The
all
only other
restrictions-
thing that what you said, if we could vote on, what basically Yash was saying was if we could vote on what's before you, but to clarify that in the back portion, it's 18 feet.
We only voting on this piece. This is the only thing we're voting on.
Okay.
All right, yeah, again,
Again, there is a recording of these minutes, and so
So everything that he said has been recorded.
has been recorded.
Okay, well,
So
that's
whatever
good.
the agreement you have that's not outlined on this, this is the only item, the
Well, we're okay
revised
with
item
that.
that we're
As long
voting on.
as, they said it's gonna be 18, that's the part that borders our neighborhood. If that's gonna be 18, we're good with it.
Okay.
And everything else they agreed to do, we've already got dialogue
Okay.
and written
Excellent.
agreement. So
Excellent.
we're good.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
and James, you had in your motion the 18.
You had a motion on the floor,
Yeah,
yes.
Motion to approve with
I
those
just-
restrictions that we
That
have in front of us
restriction.
in red.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right,
those
fair
right
enough,
there.
fair enough.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay.
All right. It's moved and properly second. All those in favor? Any opposition? The motion passes. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Commission.
Next item, sir.
The next item is presented by Jeff Coates Engineering and Surveyors, representing William Charles Guyette. It's request final approval of Guyette Roofing Plat Number 1, located on the north side of Upper Wetumpka Road, approximately 230 feet west of Clifford Lane in a B2 commercial zoning district.
I'm Guthrie Jeff Coat of Jeff Coat Engineers and Surveyors, and Mr. Guyette's here with me. If you have some questions of him, feel free to ask. We're here again with one of these two lots that needs to be put into one. When he purchased the property, the rear, when I say rear, over toward Marie James Court, was owned residential, and the front was owned business. And he hadn't had a need to do any differently since, until recently he wants to put some storage buildings on the rear of the lot. And we just went to the city council and to the planning commission and got it rezoned to business all the way through. And now then, in order to put those buildings, not straddle a property line, he'll need to replat it. And that's what we're here today for, and would appreciate affirmative vote.
Don't try to sway the jury. Thank you, sir. Is there a motion?
Is anybody,
Oh, I'm sorry. Is there any questions from the audience? If you wish to speak, please come to the mic and give your name and your address, please, ma'am. Thank you. I'm sorry. And I'll get to the commission after the audience.
How you all doing?
Good. Can you remove your mask so we can hear you?
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that.
pull that mic down, you can,
Thank you, sir.
there you go.
How you all doing?
Good, thank you.
Okay.
Your name, sir, ma'am?
My name is Yvonne Williams.
Yes, ma'am. And your
I
address?
have a property located, Lord have mercy, excuse me, right off of, they don't renamed it. It's,
What is your address?
my address on King Hill is 637 Uh, really, West Dixie Drive.
All right.
Clifford Laws, they don't change it to Clifford Laws because a long time ago it was, West Dixie Drive. But I see y'all don't change the name, so that's the difference in it. The home, the property, what I'm finna talk about, I'm going against it. I've been living there all the time till I got the home demolished, and I am planning on keeping that land, that property, for me and for the rest of my family members. I still have nieces and nephews and all, and I already got a couple of family members already say they want to move back to that area. So all I just want to say, I'm against it, okay? I don't want to rezone. I want to keep it for family members only.
It's not
Please.
It's not a rezoning.
That's all I want to say.
All right, thank you, ma'am, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, this is not a rezoning, though, this is a plat. All right,
I think I've heard some of y'all already say that, we're here for platting, as y'all know, and not zoning. That's been taken care of.
yes. Any comments or questions from the commission? Any other questions, comments from the audience? Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
A second.
Moved and properly second, all those in favor?
Thank you very much.
Any opposition? None. Motion passes. Next item.
The next item has been pulled. It's item number 3, so we will go to number 4. Item number 4 is presented by Flowers and White Engineering, representing Jody Wolf, requesting final approval of American Oak Plat Number 1, located on the west side of Wetumpka Highway, approximately 1,100 feet south of Anderson Road in the B2 Commercial Zoning District.
Good evening, Brad Flowers with Flowers and White Engineering. On behalf of American Oak and Mr. Jody Wolf, we're requesting to replat the 2 parcels of land that you see here on the screen into one parcel. Mr. Wolf's going to be expanding his store, and we'll be crossing over that property line, so we just need to pull all that together as one.
All right, any questions from the commission? Go ahead.
Yeah, when we rezoned this, y'all added that property all the way to Anderson Road in that rezoning.
No, the property at Anderson Road did not get in the rezoning. If you'll see, that was taken out. We stopped it short of Anderson Road on the rezoning. We left that as the residential. They have a tenant or one of their employees that is going to be living in that back parcel, and that's why we left that as residential, because you couldn't have a residence on top of the business zoning, so we only rezoned up to the line that's shown on this plat.
Oh, okay.
Any other questions, comments from the commission? Anyone from the audience needs to speak? Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Moved and properly second, all those in favor? Any opposition? Motion passes, thank you.
Item number 5 is presented by Flowers and White Engineering, representing Tom Cruz. Request final approval of North Chase Plat Number 5, located on the southwest corner of North Chase Boulevard and Contractors Drive in an M1 zoning district.
Yes, sir, thank you. Again, Brad Flowers, Flowers and White. So what we've got on this is North Chase Boulevard. Y'all are probably familiar with this, right off the northern boulevard there, just past Congressman Dickinson, I believe that is. The property here has been in for a long time. There were some preliminary plats circulated, and they never were finalized. Lot 1, well, what was Lot 1, which is the western lot now, never was recorded. But anyway, they're doing an expansion on that building, and so we're basically finally recording a plat and adding the additional property to it. So we've got one lot here that he's going to record.
Thank you. Any questions, concerns from the commission? Anything from the audience? Anyone in the audience wishes to speak? Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Is there a second? Moved and properly second. All those in favor? Motion passes. Thank you, sir. Next item.
The sixth item is presented by Flowers and White Engineering, representing 12 Jefferson LLC. Request final approval of 12 Jefferson LLC, plat number 1, located on the northwest corner of North Court Street and West Jefferson Street in a T5 Smart Code zoning.
Thank you. So what we have on this one, y'all are familiar with this lot, and the two buildings that are there is directly north of the Bishop Parker, just east of Biscuit Stadium, and the restaurant is there in the corner of Dreamland, over there close to North Court and Jefferson. This property never was platted originally. The owner of the parcel is selling the westernmost triangular building. And to do that, obviously, they would need to break this property up. So we're doing a plat, and then he's going to sell off that western building right there. So that's why we're subdividing.
All right. Any questions, comments from the commission? Any audience wants to respond or questions? Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and properly second. All those in favor? Any opposition? None. Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
All right. I believe that's it. Is that correct, Mr. Senator?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your
I got
time.
a question.
Yes, sir.
James, has there been any changes in our rejecting the plat in County Downs? We're equal to or beyond that 30-day period, aren't we? What's the status?
I do not know the status because there's not been anything properly presented to us.
What would that be? What would that have to be?
It would have been some type of notification that it had been appealed to circuit court.
There's no appeal, there's no 30 days.
So, if no appeal, okay.
So they would have to go to court in order to do something.
All right, and so the only way that, if they had appealed.
No, sir.
No, I said
appeals,
if.
But it's not, it's not, there's not a 30-day window.
I understand what she
So
because it
I
hadn't
can't,
been.
I can't say that it's not going to be appealed.
Okay.
But I'm sorry, go ahead with your question, sir.
Yeah, all I'm trying to do is this, I guarantee you can talk to everybody up here, and I guarantee you everybody's been led to believe over the last several years, including yourselves, that doesn't matter what we say or do up here on the vote, 30 days it's going into play. If it meets all the criteria, James, don't shake your head.
No, sir. But
That is the fact.
Yes, sir, but this is not a plat. This was a preliminary plat. It's not recorded, so that 30-day rule does not count.
So on preliminary plat, there is no 30-day rule period into sentence.
No, sir, it's just a guide. It's just, I mean, it's like a master plan to show that this can be done, but it's not recorded. The one in 2002 wasn't recorded. Any other previous ones, preliminary plats were not recorded, so there's not a time limit because it's not a recordable object.
The 30 days only applies to final approval.
Okay, so it's got to be final, and if this had been a final, then it would have been signed off on by now. Is that what I'm understanding?
If it met the criteria,
And it did.
Yes, sir. If it
It
met,
did. Okay.
right.
I mean, is there there's no doubt in either one of y'all's mind that's what would happen. Is that what I'm?
Correct.
If it had been final. Okay.
If it had been final, yes.
Okay, all right. Well, then you helped us all because the terminology that I think we all knew it was was not a final, but it was a preliminary. But on the same token, I didn't know the rules were different.
Yes, sir. The preliminary is not recorded. The one that was referred to back in 2002 and any previous ones, they were preliminary and they weren't recorded.
So those last forever also, until
Until the case like we had when it was heard, and they want to change the preliminary, so then basically you end up with a new preliminary.
Oh, okay. So, but right now,
Right now, the 2002 is in place.
Okay, that's what I want to get.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you very
Y'all,
much.
thank you for your patience, for
Thank
listening
you for
to
your
that.
asking.
Is the,
Meeting is adjourned.